Vinyl roofs are a polarizing subject, to say the least. They were a hallmark of the late 60s to 70s automotive styling. Some people love the period flair that they add on cars, and others think they just muddy the lines of whatever car they came on. I could be persuaded either way personally, depending on the car, but there is a special vinyl roof that came from the Chrysler umbrella that was in a class all its own. We aren't talking about a weird half vinyl roof shape or anything like that. No, this was more like floral wallpaper, but for the roof and even interior of your newly ordered Dodge or Plymouth. These options were effectively called the mod tops, and while they may seem cringeworthy 50 years later, there was a rationale behind the psychedelic madness, and more importantly, a few very interesting cars that got them. So why on God's green earth did Dodge and Plymouth decide to slap flowers onto the roof of their cars? Well, you can thank the hippies for that one. The first mod top cars came out in 1969, which was right at the pinnacle of the Flower Power era. The stickers were everywhere, Woodstock would go on to happen the same year, and the anti-war movement was all culminating together in this wild cultural shift towards that hippie vibe, primarily being a movement led by young people that would normally be purchasing Volkswagen buses. Chrysler thought that they could potentially appeal to these hip younger buyers if they could channel some of that rebellious energy into their cars. Women were also making up an increasing percentage of the car buying segment at this time, so that was also a consideration when planning on how best to chart a course to capitalize on this. And their answer was a floral vinyl roof. Now hear me out. When you think about it logically, it actually wasn't a horrible idea. The hippie movement was all about expressing what you believed outwardly and in an unapologetic fashion. The colors, the brands, it was to an extent showy. So why not give customers a way to show off their alignment with that flower power type movement with a bright, floral vinyl roof? It gave that small group of customers what they wanted, and it was easy enough to just make new vinyl roof fabric to apply onto a handful of cars. Or at least it seemed easy enough. Plymouth and Dodge would actually outsource the making of the fabric to a company that made shower curtains and tablecloths called Stauffer Plastics because they internally just couldn't get it right. Plymouth and Dodge were the only two brands that would offer a type of floral roof under the Chrysler umbrella. The big Chrysler luxury cars were likely deemed too expensive to be a viable fit for this promotion. There were some pretty major differences between the Plymouth and Dodge specific floral options though. For the Dodge branded vehicles, the only flower power that you could get was on the roof. For the Plymouth cars, they could be ordered with the mod top vinyl roofs and a standard interior. Or you could also opt for an interior floral seat insert option that matched the roof pattern, turning those cars into more of a garden than a muscle car. In terms of the models that could be fitted with these floral patterns, Dodge offered the floral top option on the 1969 Dodge Dart, Coronet, and Super Bee. The Dodge pattern, as can be seen here, was a primarily green floral roof design that was often paired with a green paint code so that they would complement each other nicely. Dodge killed off the floral roof option after just 1 year due to poor sales. Across all of the vehicles that could be optioned with the floral top, only about 200 customers ticked that box, despite it only being a few bucks more than a regular vinyl top. Plymouth saw much more success with the mod top cars, which they offered in 1969 on the Satellite and Barracuda, and again in 1970 on the Barracuda and Cuda models. Plymouth offered two different colorways, one being a blue and green floral roof, and the other being a predominantly yellow one, both of which could be carried into the interior if you optioned it with that floral interior package, which most of their customers ended up doing. And it was this combo that likely helped Plymouth find way more success selling these cars than Dodge. Where Dodge sold just about 200 of them, Plymouth was able to sell over 2,000 of them. Now, given the market of people who would have been ordering these floral roof cars, which were, well, either younger women or hippies, most of these cars were fitted with fairly uninspiring, lower performance power plants. But if you really wanted to, you could have the floral roof with any motor and transmission combo, which means that there were 340 4-speed darts, 383 4-speed satellites, 340 CUDAs, and apparently at least one 440 6-pack CUDA and one 426 Hemi CUDA sporting the groovy flower roofs. The 426 Hemi car is the holy grail of all the mod top cars, but sadly, about a decade ago, the car was stolen from its owner, Steve Giuliano's garage, and has yet to be recovered to this very day, and no one has any clue where it went. Given the rarity of the car and the fact that it is undeniably recognizable, it was probably either parted out for the Hemi or sold off to some collector in a foreign country under the table, which sucks because that truly is a museum-worthy car, and it was the pinnacle of all the mod tops, which we would never see again. The mod tops were discontinued after 1970, and although there were over 2,000 of them made, today there are barely any left, mainly because if you were a guy back in the day and you managed to get yourself one, you were most certainly removing the floral top immediately so your buddies didn't make fun of you. But for the handful of these that still do exist, they offer a very cool insight into that period of history that they came from, not just in terms of automobiles, but also for society. But that's the full story of the mod top Mopars. Let me know if you actually ever knew these cars even existed before watching this video, or if you've ever seen one. Personally, I've only ever seen one on Facebook Marketplace, and that's as far as my experience with them goes. But as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.